This week on Dumb Pitches, my guest is Dave Waite. He's hilarious and he is full of ideas. The most variety we've ever seen. City planning ideas, multiple city planning ideas. We got scripts. We got some inventions. It's a great episode. Shout out to our small business sponsor, HerCourt.ca. And here we go. It's going to be a great episode.
What a bunch of dumb pitches. Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Dumb Pitches. I'm Monica Nevi, your host. My small business sponsor this week is HerCourt.ca. It's basketball gear for female athletes specifically. It was created by a former Division I basketball player and Canadian national team player, Ellie Kerfoot, who also was a teammate of mine. The basketball gear is expensive. It's also usually made for men. So HerCourt.ca gives you basketball gear specifically for women, shorts, tank tops, t-shirts. Check it out, HerCourt.ca. All right. Very excited to have my guest here. He's ready. Dave Waite is here with us. Hello, Dave.
What's happening? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh man, I'm I'm in LA. I'm living the nightmare, and we're here.
Here we are. Well, I'm excited to have you on. We've known each other for a while, but whenever I'm in LA, I always enjoy getting a ride from you, because then I hope that you get to hop on the show that I'm on. A big fan of your stand-up. It's great. So we like to go over people's good ideas, give them some credit before we hear your sweet, sweet bad ideas. So Dave Waite, you may have seen him on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. He was on Not Safe with Nikki Glaser. That was on Comedy Central. He's got 4 stand-up albums. Just recently you did Unprotected sets on Epix, right? So you can check that out. He's got a podcast called Riff City. Creator, producer of The Secret Show at the Blind Barber in Los Angeles. They're great stand-up shows. So you've had some good ideas. You've done some good things before.
Yeah, I guess allegedly.
What did you think of for your bad ideas or a bad idea?
Well, I had a bunch of different ones. This one, if I was an urban planner, if I was planning up a city, here's a bad idea. It would get rid of cars. That sounds like a pretty solid bet, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then only buses, just buses going down every street, and they run 24 hours a day. Just a lot of beep, beep, wheels on the bus going around.
Okay, so no cars, but more buses. You'd obviously have to somehow have more buses than we currently have in a transit.
Yeah, we need a lot more buses so everybody could get around, no more cars.
Okay, and would they go very far? I mean, would you have to transfer a lot, if you were your normal commute with something?
It would be like a giant subway grid with buses.
Okay, why not a subway?
Well, it takes a long time to, dig the holes for the subway. We could make this happen tomorrow if we had enough.
That's true.
Political might.
Okay.
If the big bus lobby would finally stop being pussies and get behind this.
That is true. I like that you got to dig the holes for the subway. It is a tunneling system. Correct. Okay, so this could be real quick. Just all of a sudden, it seems like something, because airlines, right? They have planes. It seemed like it might create more jobs in that, realm. At least there might be.
My buses are run by robots.
Okay, well, you left that part out. So the drivers are robots?
Well, yeah, that's just the future. Ain't nobody going to be driving a car in the 10 years. So, it's going to seem like a crazy thing to do.
Yeah. So are they
because
self-driving?
everybody's going to be in a bus.
Because
That's why it'd be
that's what-
crazy.
That would be a crazy thing to drive when everyone else is using only buses. What do we do with the cars? That's what I have a question.
That's a good point. Well, we take the parts and we build new buses with them.
So these are cool, different looking buses because it used to be a Tesla or whatever.
Yep.
Okay, so and they're driven by robots. I was thinking the manufacturing part of it would also create jobs, but that could be done by robots too. So.
Yeah. There's not really going to be a lot of jobs left. Once they teach robots how to tell jokes, it's over for us.
That is true. I'm hoping I have until then, but okay. Is it same fees as it would be now to ride the bus, or is it like just everybody can get on, or?
Well, it would be like a class system. You can't have the rich people on a poor bus. You know what I mean? So, there'd be like the poor people bus, and people would be hanging off the side of it. And,
more people would be on it. I see. So you could pay more to have a first class.
And then
seat.
there'd be like the middle class bus, and that'd be guys with and gals and business suits, and then there's the first class bus where you would have a robot waiter giving you drinks and caviar.
Oh, caviar. I just had some caviar on the bus. That's never good.
Bus caviar. It's going to be the luxury of the future.
Okay, all right. So there's a class system in this bus, but which would be if there was.
Well, you got to have a class system, or no, the people aren't going to get on board with it because they're not going to want to get on the bus. They might have to interact with a poor person.
I see.
You can't let a rich person having to talk to a bunch of poor people, because then they'll realize that maybe they're the problem. Rich people, not the poor people.
That is so. Trying to convince rich people to get rid of their cars, you have to make some sort of incentive to be like, "Don't worry, we'll still know that you're better than us somehow."
Yes.
Okay.
You'll have the first class bus.
It seems like it might be similar to trying to take people's guns now. Like they've just gotten used to it for so long. It might be. Do you think there'd be a struggle convincing?
Oh, I have a good idea for guns. You have a murder tax, and you go in there, you buy a gun, and the tax is like a couple $100, and you got to tell them, hey, there's a tax here on the gun. I know you're responsible. You got to let them know. I know it's not you, but
other people
are going to murder with this. And the tax money goes to cleaning up when bodies explode. And, somebody's got to come in there and like mop up the blood off a mall floor. You know what I mean? When somebody goes and shoots everybody, somebody's got to come in there and mop that up. And so that tax money. So the
murder tax goes for
it goes to clean up, and, it pays for the funerals of people in mass shootings, or any shooting, really. Any shooting's going to be taken care of by the murder tax. But here, enjoy your gun that you're going to protect your house from a band of marauders or something like that.
Okay, so would that deter people from then wanting to buy the gun because it'd be more expensive, or at least they hate taxes? Turns out
they hate taxes, but maybe it's just extra little step, just like the way they made cigarettes more and more hard to get. You just add a couple, you nickel and dime them.
Okay, and then assume that they don't want to do the work.
Maybe when you sell a gun, you put it in a box. The gun comes in a box, and on the outside of it, it just shows like people murdered by guns.
Oh yeah, like the cigarettes in Canada and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And just be like, this is what you're buying.
Yeah, this is what your tax dollars go to.
This is what your tax guy, and it says, and then have a warning from the Surgeon General. This gun can result in death.
And pregnant women shouldn't shoot people.
That's for sure. But that's it. I mean, I didn't even have that on the list. I mean, that was more of a good idea,
That
really, to
is,
be
I
honest.
mean, that's definitely an interesting. That was an interesting tangent for sure. But
I
okay,
had,
would there be taxes
this is,
involved in the buses? Is the question.
well, I didn't get that far. I mean, I don't know how much time we got. I got a bunch of ideas.
All
I
right,
might have to move on.
let's do it.
I know it's your show, but
No, that's perfect. As soon as there's holes in the idea, you just move on to the next thing. All right, what's next?
next one is a restaurant. It's all you can eat chili.
All you can eat chili.
Just that's all you can eat is chili, and you pay a flat fee, and you're just pounding down chili as much as you want.
Is there different types of chili?
Yeah, there's a ton of different types of chili. I mean, the real thing would you'd have to have like some industrial strength bathroom at the all you could eat
That's
chili
true.
place.
Yes, a little soundproof something.
And then maybe you'd have a gift shop where you sold people fresh pants.
So it's just a cash cow here, right? You get a
Yeah,
flat
you
fee.
sell some fresh underoos and some pants in the gift shop.
Yeah.
Now you're somebody would have to go out. You'd need a spotter. You'd almost need a designated driver if you had an accident and you're hiding in the bathroom. You need it.
Oh.
Maybe we'd have an attendant be like, you need a fresh pair of drawers.
You get like a life alert button when you get in, and then
Yeah,
if you hit it, somebody brings you new underpants.
that's right. Yes, you got it.
You got it. Okay. What do you call that place? What do you call that buffet?
Oh man, I didn't name it. I mean, you're welcome. We're workshopping here.
Yeah, that's good. Anybody have any good? You can comment. Yeah.
Please write in to bad pitches, bad ideas. What's the name of this?
Dumb pitches, but yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you send it to dumbpitches@aol.com.
Okay. So we got the chili buffet, the chili all you can eat chili, all you can shit chili.
You play a fat fee, fat fee, not a fat fee.
You pay a fat fee.
I mean, that would be a good idea if you came into a buffet and they just
they
eyeballed
upcharge it. Have to guess how much they're gonna eat.
No, they couldn't call it a fat fee because people would get upset. But you'd be like, you're a healthy size fee.
What do they call it?
Hey big boy fee.
Big boy fee. I'll get one hey big boy and one. What do they call it when you have to buy 2 seats on an airplane?
No, they call it embarrassing.
They call it the shame seat. I know it's a seatbelt extender. Maybe it's like a plate extender.
There you go.
All right, what's next?
Well, Coachella's coming back, I think, this fall, and Bonnaroo. They're going to be in the fall. And I was thinking people really love when they had the Tupac hologram. What if they had an Alf hologram? Remember Alf, the
little...
yeah, he was a alien and he ate cats. So I think the kids would really get a kick out if there was an Alf hologram.
Do you think people who go to Coachella?
Coachella?
Yeah.
You go to a different one. Huh? All right.
Sorry,
Wearing low-rise jeans and stuff. I got it.
I like how that was you're like, oh, there's a lot of low-rise jeans around here. Promiscuity. People who go to Coachella know who Alf is.
Probably not. That's why.
Would he be maybe performing popular songs? But he's Alf.
Yeah, maybe I've aged it. So that's why. That's what I was thinking about that. And then I was thinking, what about a Mr. Ed reboot? I don't know if you know Mr. Ed. He was a talking horse.
The horse, yeah.
Mr. Ed was like the star of the show, and then he talked, and then whoever owned him would come out and get advice from him, and they'd get in adventures. But this is a reboot. This, how everything is gritty now when they reboot it.
Oh yeah.
And this is a gritty route. Mr. Ed, he breaks his leg like the opening scene, and then the rest of the movie is him telling his story. He knows what's coming. He knows
Okay,
he's
so they're gonna have to shoot him.
So he's just kind of, and then he tells his life story of a horse addicted to horse. He was addicted to heroin. They call that horse. So he was a horse on horse.
Okay, so he's had a tougher life than we. Maybe that's why he could talk.
Yeah, I mean, Hollywood is a tough business.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. So this is
And,
not a different. This is still same Mr. Ed, right? This
yeah,
later
it's
down the line.
later down the line, and the thing about Mr. Ed, he was actually an introvert, and the Hollywood executives realized that they had to give him cocaine to get him to open up and talk more, and that really set him down the
That's
path.
why he always had his teeth, because he had.
That's why he was real
cocaine on his-
gummy.
Yeah,
They had to rub gum on it, cocaine on his gums to get him to talk more.
People always try to do it with peanut butter, and you got to put cocaine in there. Everyone knows.
Yeah,
that.
it's really just that peanut butter's cut with the
The good
it's
stuff.
cut with that Colombian powder. And so it's just a real, and he, goes through like some of the marriages. So he was married to Farrah Fawcett.
Okay, and then obviously his marriages didn't. There's more than one, so that means he's been either divorced or something like that.
Well, yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, and did that have to do with the drug use?
Yeah, the drug use.
Okay, so he's just going back through these difficult times that he has.
Yeah, it's the very, very, very dark times, and he knows the end is near. And then, his old owner comes in, and he's the one that's got to kill him in the final scene.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's a really huge, but I think it's got some real Oscar bait.
It
to
does,
it,
yeah. That's, some drug use, different relationships than we've seen. If he's married to Farrah Fawcett, then
Yeah.
and not a happy ending. That's always pretty indicative of an Oscar nominee, is that it doesn't really have a happy ending.
Yeah, and Hollywood likes movies about itself.
That is true. They love that. This is good.
It's called Mr. Dead.
How much you liked that was good. Mr. Dead. Okay, that's pretty. So, I have one question. Is this more of we're talking to the horse most of the time, or is it like he's thinking back and then we're going to like a dramatized version of
He's
of the
thinking
past?
back.
Okay.
He knows the call has been made, and he starts telling the story.
Okay, so then we go through cinematically as he's telling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, and I'm not just sticking to movies. I have a TV show idea. This one might just be, it's the Golden Girls.
Okay.
And the Golden Girls, they were like in their 50s when the actresses.
Right.
And now I was thinking that, so fit these ladies now: Salma Hayek, Marissa Tomei, J-Lo, and then like Helen Mirren, she'd play like Marissa Tomei's mom.
Okay.
And then the show would just be them DTF. They're down to fuck, and they're down. But the ad would, because it'd be on NBC, it'd be down to Florida. That it would be DTF. It'd be, oh, it's DTF. It's down to Florida. That's because that's where they're at.
That's where they're. But everyone would know that DTF. You'd be like, well, also that means something else.
Yeah.
Down to Florida. Okay, and it's a similar style of as the original Golden Girls, where they're hanging out as the four of them, but then they have their offshoot personality things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a more diverse lineup than the original. So
yeah,
that's good for everybody. And that was just a good idea. I don't even know.
What's next?
Well, let's see. This is more of a city planner sort of thing here.
You are the first person who's really had some city planning ideas, which it could be more helpful than anything else.
This is, every city is dealing with litter
Mm-hmm.
And I say we train dogs to pick up litter. You know,
Okay.
especially like plastic bottles. They love plastic bottles, anyways.
That is true. And then they crunch them up.
And then then we put a small, non-dangerous primate in charge of the dogs, so he'd be kind of the leader.
Okay. Which would be, I think that would draw some tourist attraction as well. You'd want to see that.
Yeah, you'd put a little orange vest on the whatever sort of primate it is, and he'd kind of be he'd be the alpha,
He's
and
the supervisor of the litter dogs.
the litter dogs, and he'd maybe ride around on one of them and keep them in line.
Got it. Is he's nice to them, or is he kind of cracking the whip?
He might be cracking the whip, but he's also like he's a primate that isn't gonna rip people's faces off. You could
I see. Okay.
You could go up and feed him a walnut or something like that, or a Twix, and he would appreciate it.
Okay. So and the city would be cleaner. I feel like with both of your city planning ideas, you want humans to do nothing. Which is fine. I'm like, yeah.
I think that's just the future. I'm not going to stand in the way of progress.
I see. And okay, because robots, how would that work with the trash part? And it's also robots are kind of scary. So if you did want it to be more of a tourist draw, people love dogs and monkeys.
That's it.
Yeah.
Robots, they're not. We've watched too many Terminator movies. They're not going to be out there. A robot driving a bus is much safer than a bus driver driving a bus.
That is true, probably. What do you pay the dogs or the supervisor?
The monkey supervisor?
Yeah.
You just give him a couple Twix and a pack of cool cigarettes. The monkeys love menthol. He's gonna smoke some menthol cigarettes.
Okay, so they're compensated in some way, but you wouldn't have to, because I think as far as the actual city planning part goes, that would cut some budget.
Yeah, I guess at some point you would have to pay them, because people would think that you can't have this monkey out there working, and but I don't know.
It's animal labor. I don't know.
Well, there's already PETA. They probably wouldn't enjoy. They would probably get upset. I imagine the PETA people would be very upset.
But PETA is, maybe with again, it just depends on how the supervisor's treating the dogs, because PETA seems to be on board with some environmental stuff. So I do feel like you can go from that angle. Like, obviously they're cleaning litter, but I think having just an animal out there doing that is better than having someone drive around, or some sort of machine that would do it, that would be causing carbon emissions.
Yeah, the PETA people, they're to give, they're to be like, this isn't animals' roles to be working for us like this, and
that's true, I guess.
They'll think they need to be free, and maybe they're right, but
like this hypothetical fight you've gotten in with PETA, but I think they'll be fine. I think PETA will be okay with it. Okay, so dogs that pick up litter that are supervised by a primate.
Yeah, by a primate.
I like it. I think it's good.
I don't know if you saw that one recently on the internet that it was on Twitter a bunch with it was like a red sort of primate, and they were feeding him nuts, and he just kept asking for more, and he had a stout body. That's the type of guy I was thinking of.
Okay, that's who you were thinking of specifically. All right.
Yeah. Not like, because he had a pretty furry face. He didn't seem to. I wouldn't want one of those monkeys that kind of hisses at you or something.
Right, that gets angry.
I want a real furry sort of guy that almost seems like he's out of a Muppet movie or something like that.
I see. Okay, an approachable primate.
Yeah.
Just the visual though of that primate leading a pack of dogs that are cleaning up litter is beautiful. Honestly, I don't know.
Well, he'd have his own little orange vest, and in his vest he'd have some treats for the dogs when they did good.
Oh, and he could. I got it. Okay, the more
He'd be giving out the
up,
treats.
he gave out the treats. Well, so then they would definitely follow him.
Yeah. He'd be like the Pied Piper of pooches.
Of dogs. The Pied Piper of pooches. Okay. I mean, I like that one, honestly. I mean, these are all wonderful. Do the dogs wear vests as well? Or sweaters?
I guess they would have to wear some vest sort of thing.
Because I feel like people would either try to pet them,
Yeah. You can't pet the service dog, for sure.
Right, yeah. Or rescue them if they didn't have something on.
It would be an orange vest that says trash dog.
Trash dog, don't touch.
Trash dog, don't touch.
Okay, all right. That's
And the one thing is we would have to make garbage cans lower.
Oh, so the dogs
could put the bottles. There would have to be the top part. We would have to just maybe make smaller trash things. I'm not sure. You could have it pushes in.
Oh, like a dog door type of thing, like you.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really figured out that part of the technologies. That's more of a science guy. He would have to figure that out.
Okay. All right. Do you have maybe one more? I don't know.
I do have one more.
Okay.
The service Venmo. We're all on there. That's how the future of money.
Yes.
I'd say randomly every day Venmo. They just pick a person. And they go, it's Todd Smith's day, and you're like, oh, and what's that mean? And then that means it's up to everybody, but they highlight one person, and then that day they're like, you can give Todd $1, and just every day of the year they just pick a different person, and they go, you could give this person $1, and if you're that person, you're like, oh boy, I hope people give me $1 on Venmo.
Okay, so then you would be inclined to give the $1 because if then your day was coming up,
if it was your day coming,
maybe they give it back.
Yeah,
or whatever. Okay,
yeah,
that's
and there's a lot of people on Venmo. Yeah. You might get peeled off some. You might get peeled off that scratch.
I think we do that. That one's a good idea. I like that one a lot. I mean, what are the issues with it? I don't even know.
Yeah, maybe there's no issues. Maybe that's just like an interesting pay it forward sort of idea to put out there in the universe.
But it's also kind of gambling-ish, like lottery style too.
It's a lottery style.
Yeah, and people like that that suspense, I guess.
Maybe it's going to be your day.
Yeah.
We just call it, are you the Todd of the day?
Who's Todd today?
Who's Todd today?
It's Todd Day.
Todd Day.
That's a good. I mean, I'm ready to start that one. Well, for a while during all of this pandemic stuff, it would be like, how do you help out artists or businesses or whatever? And then sometimes people would just be like, well, I'm just going to Venmo them $10. So it's a similar thing, but you could also get, you could also get paid back at some point. So or whatever,
right.
Could have your Todd Day. So.
Sure.
Oh man, those were all great. I don't even know. I feel like this is another. You got to pick your favorite one. How do people? Are you doing live shows now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm starting to heat up.
Okay. How would people find you? Your website and social media and stuff like that.
It's Dave Waite Comedy.
Okay.
.com and Dave Waite Comedy on Instagram and Dave Waite Comedy on Twitter, and the podcast I just started, it's called Riff City. It's just pretty wild. We just dropped an episode recently. It's called The Sopranos versus Godzilla, and the Riff City is a podcast that may be in an alternate universe, and in that universe, The Sopranos had to deal with a Godzilla attack. So Tony was having a hard time with the Godzilla cutting it. Godzilla. When you watch a Godzilla movie, you don't think about organized crime, but it wouldn't help. I mean, it doesn't really help any business, but organized crime guys, they're already kind of stressed and they don't handle change very well.
Right.
So a Godzilla attack would be very bad for people in organized crime.
That's true.
Or it might be to their advantage because there's a lot of mayhem and the police they're more occupied with Godzilla. So maybe it's the time that
It could be a distraction. Yeah.
you can really just steal a lot of trucks and do whatever crime stuff you're up to.
Yeah, if Godzilla's attacking, you could steal a lot of trucks and then build some buses. Okay, so you can check out your Unprotected sets is up on Epix. It's on.
Yeah,
Epix?
it's on Epix. It's
check it out.
It's a cable channel. It's streaming. Nobody has Epix, but you could get it. You could get it for $1 for a month, and then there's a show called Pennyworth on there. It's about Alfred. It's the origin story of the butler from Batman.
Oh, so you can watch Dave's set and then go check out Pennyworth.
You can watch the Pennyworth. That's my one.
That's a pretty good plug. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing the show. This was hilarious. And honestly, some of these ideas, I'm like, might actually have to do that. It's pretty good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. Follow Dave. Check him out. Check out HerCourt.ca. Also, subscribe, follow, give us a review. Whatever you listen to this or watch this on, do the thing that you're supposed to do there. We also have launched our YouTube memberships. So if you become a member, then you have access to these episodes the day before everybody else. You also have access to the behind-the-scenes episodes, which are my bad ideas and some other things. And then, of course, I have some stand-up sets on there that are only for members. So check that out, YouTube memberships. But, right now, you might as well just keep watching Dumb Pitches.
You're weird.
Yes.